pussy lane, and the pussy is the cat. And the cat is the black cat, and the black cat is the Black Panther.
Go ahead.
And the Black Panther is the symbol for the priests at war when they go into stealth mode. But the symbols represent the blackbird on what we call the African house, the African crow. The African crow is represented as the blackbird returning from the crossroads.
Okay.
So type in, go to the crow, type in quotes. Go to quotes to the Google, type in crow quotes. Because at the end of the day, it got to take us back to who is God. Mother behind it. You can either read it there, or you can go to a fancy picture of it.
That's dropping it right there.
So Eric, look, Eric Draven, right? Now look at the name. Eric in Akkadian is Europe. It means fire. The D is the fourth letter, but it represents a loaf in Kemet. This would be a D, would be a loaf of bread, right? And then you got Raven. Raven represents the bird. So the bird coming in on the 4. The 4 is the 4-corner shuffle, which is the 4 winds. And the 4 winds is setting the world on fire.
Go ahead.
And Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children.
Boom. It's like that bomb effect right then.
Do you understand? Morphine is bad for you. Your daughter is out there on the streets waiting for you. Quote the motherfucking Raven.
Oh, yeah.
So even the one that comes back for the Sibyls, see it?
Yeah.
With the black crow, right? From the African side, they come over here, and these sisters came out of a different house. You got the mama bear, right? You got the mama of the pumas, which we would call a Afeni Shakur, which would be a Black Panther, a chief in stealth.
Go ahead.
Right? So all of these mothers get together to restore the matriarchy in order to protect the children for the next 7 generations. So now you understand how we got to where we was. So the 7 is the 7th son, which would be me, the 7th seed of the 7th seed of the 7th seed, off a 5%er, Rakim Allah, born with 3 sevens in my head. The one can seem to blow your mind as far as this, to find you need philosophers and anthropologists, professors and scholars from the smartest colleges and all of that shit. I had to get a couple of them in there.
Yeah, hey, bars. You know what I'm saying? This is knock on hey, this is the knock on the North Gate, man. This is the knock on the North Gate right here.
Okay, so now
I'm straight.
Now we know that the zodiac seat center is Big Mama's seat, and that the 12 sisters is the Sibyls. Now, what we don't know about the Sibyls is why they call them that. The term schizophrenia comes from the Sibyls. The Sibyls were synced telepathically one with another, all with the Divine Mother. Right? And once they are all synced, they are on the same psychic network to pass information instantly from their region of the world. And that's what it was called too, Isis magic. It's the magic of the sisters, what we call the birthright to the earth rights, which is the rituals of the birth priestesses, the rituals of the yoni priestesses to maintain the vaginal health of the planet, which is also female. Right? In some cultures, we describe things in reverse or upside down, and that's where they deceived us, because they had us thinking south was down and north was up, never knowing that the ice princess comes from the underworld, and the underworld is the land of ice, and the land of ice is called the Northland. Right? And the Northland is the land of the Ice Princess, which is the Isis of the pole, the North Pole. You see? And these are the 8 points that makes up the house of Isis, meaning the 8 points of study. They give you 8 points of study in order to raise people up using matriarchal rules that was usurped. Right? So, from when you understand how to read the stellar clock and the earth clock, then you know how to understand the movement of the people in order to locate you who you're looking for. And there's always a clue. Because in your life, your book of life got clues, like Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
You know you left them for yourself, but you don't remember where you left them until you get to them. And for some odd reason, you have to pay attention. Right? So the great work, the Magna Carta, is the orders of the Magna Mater, and the Magna Mater is the home house of the Great Mother, Big Mama house. Over here, type in Iroquois Longhouse. Over here, Big Mama's house was called the Longhouse, or the Big Mama's house, and it was the biggest house on the property. Commonly became known as the Longhouse under the transitional tribes forming up the Iroquois. Most of these names, like Iroquois, is not a native name. That's French.
Right.
We weren't French until the Blackamoors brought French over as a language. Right? And the Longhouse was Big Mama's house. Right? Let's look and see if we can see what the inside look like, Elder.
It's like a whole bunch of people
first picture.
over there.
Click that first picture right there. Yeah. So in our culture, when we used to have family gatherings, you had a men's quarters and a women's quarters. And then you had a private suite for couples to spend their time with each other if they married, away from the gathering. Now, over here in the Longhouse, when you see a Longhouse like this, this is a war barrack.
Okay.
Right? And the reason it's a war barrack is the layout. If it was a peacetime dweller, it wouldn't be laid out in this fashion. It would be laid out almost like a giant open loft house with furniture of different kind. This is all beds. This is all sleeping quarters.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the longhouse of war. Friendly pale faces penetrate. They start letting us into their institutions. They start sending our children to their children's educational systems with armed guard now. That means that's the people we sending in there, sending us the message back from the inside saying, hey, I got us a way in. Follow me. Go look at who marching with King. Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna get out of this without getting the same motherfuckers that kicked their ass out of Europe to help you. So why not use it to your advantage? They using them to block you out of the institution. Open Ellis Island up and run it over, fill this motherfucker with friendly pale faces. We want every derelict you got. But in the end of 100 years, they're going to be the ones at the top of society that's going to be able to tell us who's doing what behind the scenes. And this is where you get a Donald Trump from.
The disclosure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because they have to, we got to figure out how to get this information out to the chiefs on the land so one of us can figure out when do we exercise the blood right to reclaim the land. If we don't learn from what they're telling us, flipping it out of their secret by watching the movements, this is why we be losing, because we not very good at watching the long game because we ain't too good at watching the short game.
We're easily distracted, and it seems that they know that, because it seems like every week there's some new level of something that's capturing our attention. If it's and I'm not making mockery of it, but the Shanquella Robinson issue, before that, the Kyrie and the Kit and the Ye. So it's like every week, every other week, there's a new something that captures our attention and takes us away from coming together. And because even those things that capture attention, there's debate. So it's not we're not unified in what we think we're seeing, or what if there's a message or what happened. So we're not working on unity. We're not working on restoration, because we don't need reparation. We need restoration. We need to be restored and made whole. We need to come together in order to do that. And it seems to me.
So this is why we tell our people to read the Indigenous Rights Act. The only way to overthrow that system is we have to go back to the system we had before they came.
True.
Which is an oral tradition. The mothers of the land they already starting, because they already sending me the messages that they reaching out to family members, discovering parts of their heritage they had never known before. And they found out what I said was right. We ain't come on no damn ships. We was already here.
True.
In a full bustling society. And they came and attacked us because they wanted what we had. But they didn't want our materials because we use earthy shit. When we get ready to do a crown, Big Mama make you one out of feathers. We don't go smelt the gold into a crown. That's not the custom of the people from the Atlant, what we call the Americas. Mm-hmm. Our custom is everything we did, we tried to stay as close to nature as possible. So our royal garments is trinkets to the people from Europe, but they have royal significance to the people of the land, like the topaz. It's just a rock to them. It's a sacred stone to us.
Topaz, the stone topaz.
Yeah. Okay. It's a sacred stone for us. And a lot of the topaz copper jewelry traced back to tribes from the Southwest. They was doing it for thousands of years. Those was the gifts they adorned their royalty with.
And I know in the Southwest they do a lot with turquoise.
And turquoise as well. Another sacred stone.
Yeah. Wow. So it's a whole it's been a whole if you conspiracy to destroy, like you said, one, our history, our reference to our whole genealogical past. They've rewritten it. They've interjected themselves in places that they were not. I even learned or heard that they had even added maybe 290 some, and I heard anywhere from 2 something to 500 some years into the timeline when they started messing with the calendars in order to find a place to interject their various empires when, you know, they were, you know, the Roman Empire and the, I guess they're looking for the revived Roman Empire. That's what they think they're getting ready to do.
The Roman Empire had been the Catholic Church the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The Catholic Church controlled the Crown of England, which was tied to the business district of Switzerland. Banking, international bankers. They used pale faces over there to hide the black nobility. The ones behind it that looked like us, that thought they got away until their ass got caught. They never nobody in a million years would have thought we'd figure out that they was using pale faces to block us out so they can claim to be us at the end. Right? We supposed to get mad, go on a bloody rampage, and kill all the pale people.
Oh, okay.
Right? So they won't stand next to us and say, kill Whitey, kill Whitey. And then when we get our shit, they gonna take it all and murder us. Because that's their oath. That's the oath of allegiance to themselves over anything that got to do with us. All these oaths are out in the open. It's not secret. I've been showing them on other shows so people will know that this is actually documented.
I've heard them talk about black nobility in other platforms, but they try to say in those platforms that when they show who's a part of this elitist group, they still don't look like us. They're saying black as not in the skin color, but black in the maybe in the deed or in their, because they're doing dark, you know, behind the scenes stuff, but they don't have.
They got the faces of the royal families called the black nobility on the family crests.
I always see them, you know, on their on the cameos and so forth. You see
they try to tell us as part of the white supremacist narrative that those was the slave traders.
Why would you put
the family that was the slaves that the family owned?
So why would you pick how would you pick one slave to be on your, you know, on your crest? Why would you do that? And that's the more prominent is that
right. So now you have to go research the art. When you go over there, you will find they got giant statues of Moors eating babies, literally.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
That's King of all kings right there. He the one made the alliance with Larry to create the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. It wasn't never supposed to turn out to be us versus us. It was supposed to be us against the machine.
Wow. Wow.
So King David was told the secret by the Jews because he was offering security to the fake Jews to protect them from the mafia, Irish mafia and Italian mafia in Chicago. So they wasn't allowed to come in our neighborhoods, but they could do whatever they want in theirs. Right? That's what segregation was all about.
Wow.
We didn't know we could go in their shit. That's why they didn't want us there. They wasn't allowed to come in our shit without our permission. We fought for integration, which ended up making us have to. Now the system say you can go wherever you want to go, disregard who you want to disregard, disrespect who you want to disrespect, and we gonna bag you up on that fuckery.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Right? So what's going on right now? These is the ones who we sending in to get our shit back.
Okay.
Now, remember, go back to the Salem witch hunts, and it was a big mama teach the little pale girls yoni magic. Right? So, oh, go to that ballroom dancing. See that?
Yep.
So the dancing instructions is the same. All that shit came from us. We invented ballroom, square dance, bop. All that shit come from us. Foxtrot. All them is, and all of these dances you see being done on the land is what you call ritual maintenance. Preserve the rituals and the common culture, so that the people from the original of oldest of times will always recognize the culture because they created it.
The salsa, all that. Yep. Shata.
So somebody said that they confused because the children of these people was already on reservations. You got to go back and recheck the story. They came over and was taught, but the adults that came with them didn't have to be taught. The children had to be taught. All you have to teach the adults is you have to go rehearse how to tell stories until they learn how to tell the story. With the children is the ones who can embody the information that you download into them. That's why you don't see a lot of adults around those children at those schools. Go back to the picture, Elder.
I got you.
Find me an adult.
And one of them pictures.
Now, you know when we went to school, got our class pictures. It was our teacher was always in the picture. Who is the adult?
They ain't teaching the adult because it's black. It's gonna show native adult nigga. That's what they gonna want to tell you. You know?
And most of these were taught by women. Women was teaching the dance classes.
Man, so hey, real quick question, man, because this right here, you just gave me some more pieces, Rod. So these, let me get it all
ceremonial tribes. Anything that to overthrow this system, they gonna be the ones standing up because we too scared to do it. We don't believe in our power on the land, so we won't pool our resources. We're gonna fight against each other.
Okay.
All you got to do is show the children the path to victory, and they gonna push the adults out the side. So let's go on to some questions, Elder. If you got some questions you wanted to go over.
Oh yeah, I got you. So let me put this together. So they had to. This whole plan was to switch these people out with us, and they taught them how to be us. That's crazy.
No. Okay, so the slightest miss in the vision is this.
Okay.
They were going to replace us with them.
Go ahead.
But they was going to come over and they was going to be the indigenous people, but they was going to act like the white man.
Yeah.
So it was we the ones who's training them. Because we know that if we don't train them to imitate us, that we won't never be able to send nobody in to get our shit because our people not going to trust themselves.
Wow. Right.
And most of the leadership is just ceremonial leaders anyway. They're not even real leaders because they ain't most loved, most respected by nobody.
Wow. So hey, the first question I have for you, Rod, this right here, you just dropped a nuke on us right there. That's a nuke right there, man. You know, this right here piece right here, this is nail in the coffin right here, man.
Big Mama said, leave no stone unturned.
Oh yeah, you just turned over a big ass stone right there. You just made a big ass connection right there for me. Now you said you was talking about Jack Johnson, and how we was doing the phase of the fighting on the land, and you was talking about how the Jack Johnson really was the first dude that started getting. You had broke down his connection with us.
Yes. Okay. So look, when they came over here, they don't have no skills.
Okay.
Right now, remember they on a quest for one drop of blood.
Okay.
But in the quest for the one drop of blood, they got to develop into functional humans that can ascend. Yaku's grafted devil. They got to come up with their own ability to fight. When you look at now, you see how Jack Johnson fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, pull up Type in the Great White Hope versus Jack Johnson and watch how the white boy standing.
Yeah, I got that picture right here already up in there. Because I heard you say something about the Great White Hope. It should be right up in here. Is it up in there? Right here. I think this is it right here. Right here. Yeah, he's standing like
holding it. You see how he holding his fist with the fisticuffs? Put him up even. That's because they had to learn how to develop this science. He already know it.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson was the first one they allowed to fight because they thought that they had a champion. I think this guy name was it Jess Willard? Anyway, they thought that they had developed their skills enough to challenge a real fighter from our fight camps. He came from Ethiopia war colony.
Go ahead.
They came over here to deliver something called a pyramid secret to the Nan Ether. They had to deliver that over here. He was what you call the child of a priest. So they taught him the boxing secrets. That's why Jack Johnson was out excelling everybody. Right. And but his father or his caretaker or whoever brought him over here used him for the cover story. Because we got the Nan Ether, the Ether Utopia connection through the Holy Pibby and through the sacred parchment scroll of Black supremacy around the time he arrived. And that's Ethiopian doctrine. And that's going to tie us back to Haile Selassie. Now, the only thing we got to do is verify that Haile Selassie is not from bloodline of Israel. Because if we can prove that, then we can capture Nan Ether for the earthborn. That's science for saying that we can take the science and we can use it and apply it. Okay, so now we're talking root black science.
Okay.
The science of the black dot, Dr. Richard King, the science of melanin, Dr. Carol Byrne, right? We're talking about social development of the mind of the children, right? We got Haki Madhubuti, we got Nathan, John, and Julia Hare. When we got Dr. Amos Wilson, Master of Masters in the psychological development of our children and understanding the problem. Once you understand the problem, you can get a solution. Dr. Neely Fuller, the United Independent Compensatory Code System for breaking the chains of white supremacy, is a direct affront to the 9 areas of people activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And when you lay it all out, you understand that what we up against, we got to have a dog in every fight or we can't win. Right? So why did Clarence 13X leave the Nation of Islam? What was the conflict?
That's a good question. Go ahead.
Elijah sent him out, but it came out as a conflict because the chief never got to tell you really what to do. Once you understand the assignment, you do your part. Okay. Just do your part. You don't got to do everything because everybody got a part and we're going to work as a team. That's the critical part of warfare.
That's right.
Right? Once we realize what's going on, whatever they tell us to do, we just don't do that shit.
Okay.
Right? And whatever they tell us not to do, we might try to do that shit if it doesn't make sense why we shouldn't do it. That's called testing the system to see where it's strong and where it's weak. The general gonna read the moves, right? So when he come with the Nan Ether, Garvey bring it over for the Prince Hall Freemasons to set the Masons free, right? That's why the UNIA is up, you mighty people, do what you will. We just brought you the science of the Nan Ether. With the science of the Nan Ether, you can unlock the highest consciousness, which is the 9 ether gas forces of the ancestors that dwell in the soils of the earth. So we talking Mississippi red clay dirt. Look at my skin, Mississippi red clay dirt, right? Versus the pitch black dirt of the Nile. That's 2 different dirts.
Okay.
right? So when they developing and they learning their skills, they have to learn in steps until they can master the muscle movement. And sometimes it takes generations. Right. And just when they think Tommy Gunn was ready, Ray Mercer was mercilessly knocking his head into the ground. They thought they had another one.
Yeah, right.
The same as Jerry Cooney and Larry Holmes. They keep playing the same repeat. They finally got one. The Fury of Tyson came out as Tyson Fury. Right. And Deontay Wilder is relying on the one hitter quitter.
They cheat.
You can't rely on the one hitter quitter.
Go ahead.
Because if you only rely on the one punch man, then if you miss, you lost.
Yeah.
Right. So all these things is just putting together what we've been looking at culturally play out in the mainstream. Right. See, he don't hold his hands like those other fighters back then. That's how they used to hold their hands.
Like this, like Jack Johnson holding. He fight like orthodox. Well, yeah, I guess that'll be orthodox. So like he right.
Yep.
So like orthodox is like one of the oldest because most people right-handed. It's only like left-handed.